Nobody saw this coming. Everything you thought you knew about the WSB, Ross Cullum, and the absolute nightmare on Spoon Island, it might all be a massive, deadly lie. We all sat here watching the chaos unfold at Windermere. We watched Jocelyn Jacks get held hostage, terrified but fighting back. We watched Liesl Obrecht get locked in a cold, dark prison cell, forced against her will to complete that highly dangerous cold fusion prototype. We thought Ross Cullum was the ultimate mastermind. We thought he was the dirtiest, most corrupt agent the WSB had ever seen in its entire history. But guys, this could be the biggest mistake of someone's life. Cullum was never the boss. Cullum was a pawn, a sacrificial lamb meant to take the fall for a monster who has been hiding in plain sight. And right now, two beloved people in Port Charles are walking straight into a death trap because they just figured it out. Let us back up because the dominoes are falling incredibly fast. Valentine Cassadine genuinely thought he was doing the right thing. He risked his freedom. He fled all the way to Geneva. He set up a high-stakes meeting with the mysterious WSB head known only as Z, played brilliantly by John Oliver. Valentine laid out the entire evil story. He exposed Cullum as a double agent working with the fugitive Jen Sidwell. He told Z everything about the cold fusion prototype, the hostages at Windermere, and the imminent threat to global security. And what did Z do? Z played the hero perfectly. He swooped in to take control. He praised Jocelyn Jacks for her bravery and for brutally taking down Cullum. He even argued with Carly Spencer, claiming he wanted to elevate Jocelyn's career in the intelligence agency. Z looked like the ultimate savior who arrived just in the nick of time to clean up the WSB's catastrophic mess. But here is where things get messy. Z is a total ghost. Nobody in Port Charles actually knows his real background. Very few people know who he truly is or which specific faction he works for. He just magically appeared, took absolute control of the narrative, and watched Ross Cullum take the lethal fall. If you ask me, that is way too convenient. The timing is too perfect. The execution is too flawless. And I am not the only one who thinks so. Enter Ezra Bole. Ezra is a guy who lives to ask questions. He is an investigator at his core. When Z showed up out of nowhere and everything wrapped up in a neat little bow, Ezra's internal alarm bells went off. He could not shake the feeling that they were all being played. So he started quietly digging into Z's official WSB files. And that changes everything. Because what Ezra found makes the Windermere hostage situation look like child's play. Ezra did not find the pristine, heavily decorated record of a heroic WSB director. He found a digital paper trail of encrypted servers, black ops funding, and massive unauthorized projects. We are talking about a shadow faction operating deep inside the WSB for years. We always knew the agency was fractured. We always knew there were rogue agents with their own twisted agendas. But this was different. This was not just a few bad apples. This was a highly organized, heavily funded network operating completely off the grid, right under the noses of the international intelligence community. But wait, it gets worse. Ezra followed the money. He bypassed the firewalls. He cracked the encrypted data. The trail led him straight to the specific projects the Shadow faction was secretly funding. It was not just about weaponizing cold fusion. It was about cloning. It was about highly advanced, highly illegal cellular rejuvenation. Suddenly, the entire nightmare at Windermere takes on a horrifying new context. Why did Cullum kidnap Liesl Obrecht? Why was she specifically forced to finish that cold fusion prototype under the threat of death? Guys, this is where it gets interesting. Cullum did not want the cold fusion for himself. Cullum was taking orders. He was nothing more than a middleman executing a master plan. The order to kidnap Liesl came from the very top of this Shadow faction. It came directly from Z. Z orchestrated the entire hostage situation. He used Cullum to do the dirty work, get the prototype finished by Liesel, and then let Valentine Cassadine hand him the perfect excuse to eliminate Cullum. Z used Valentine to wipe his own slate clean. Cullum was the perfect fall guy, and Z played the role of the rescuing hero to perfection. But that is not even the biggest surprise. Why cloning? Why cellular rejuvenation? Why the sick, twisted obsession with Liesel Obrecht? Ezra kept digging deeper into the old classified WSB archives. He pulled up the highly redacted files from the Victor Cassadine era. Remember when Victor took over the agency? Remember the legendary chilling story that the WSB had confiscated the brain of the ultimate villain, Caesar Faison? We all thought Faison was gone for good. We thought his reign of terror was finally over. His mind locked away in a jar in some secret WSB vault. What if that brain was a fake? What if the WSB never actually had Faison? What if Caesar Faison never actually died? Think about it. Look at the pieces on the board. The cloning technology, the cellular rejuvenation research, the desperate, urgent need for unlimited energy via cold fusion to power these massive, secret underground laboratories. The pieces are slamming together at terrifying speed, and the picture they form is pure nightmare fuel. Z is not a new character. Z is not a heroic WSB director trying to save the world. Z is Caesar Faison. He is alive. He has been rejuvenated into a younger, stronger body. He assumed a completely new identity, infiltrated the highest ranks of the WSB, and has been pulling the strings from the shadows this entire time. The accent, the demeanor, the sudden appearance, it is all a carefully constructed mask. Faison used the WSB's own unlimited resources to rebuild himself. He used their black budgets to fund his resurrection. And then everything spiraled. Valentine Cassadine, one of the smartest, most calculating men in Port Charles, literally handed the ultimate victory to Caesar Faison. Valentine genuinely thought he was exposing Cullum to the good guys. Instead, he reported directly to the man who ordered the hit on Jack Brennan. He reported to the man who ordered Liesel's captivity. He reported to the very monster who has terrorized Anna Devane and Liesel Obrecht for decades. Faison played Valentine like a cheap fiddle. He used Valentine to legitimize his takeover of the agency and to eliminate Cullum, the only loose end who actually knew his true identity. Carly Spencer's fail-safes, Valentine's brilliant strategies, they meant absolutely nothing because they were playing a game. Faison had already won. This means every single thing that just happened on Spoon Island was a setup. Jocelyn Jacks fighting for her life, a calculated distraction. Carly Spencer and Lucas Jones risking everything to break into Windermere, part of Faison's orchestrated chaos. He let Cullum take the heat. He let Cullum take the bullets. He let Cullum take the ultimate fall. Now, Faison is sitting at the very top of the WSB, completely untouchable, wearing the trusted, heroic face of Z. He has the cold fusion data. He has his youth back. And he has the entire intelligence community eating out of the palm of his hand. But Ezra Bole knows. Ezra has the encrypted files downloaded on a secure drive. He has the timeline of the cloning project mapped out. He has the undeniable proof that the brain in the jar was a carefully planted decoy. Ezra realizes he is holding a ticking time bomb that could blow the entire world apart. He cannot go to the PCPD. The local cops are completely out of their depth. He cannot go to the WSB. The agency is entirely compromised from the top down. He needs someone with the power, the history, and the absolute unshakable integrity to handle this massive, world-ending conspiracy. So, Ezra makes a choice. A desperate, deadly choice. He reaches out to Mayor Laura Collins. Laura knows the dark history of the WSB. She knows the twisted legacy of the Cassadines. And most importantly, she knows the sheer, unadulterated evil of Caesar Faison firsthand. Ezra sets up a secret, off the books meeting with Laura. He uses burner phones. He uses encrypted messaging. He tells her it is a matter of life and death. He tells her the Windermere nightmare is not over. It has only just begun. What happened next may be even worse. Ezra and Laura meet in a remote, secure location. Ezra wastes no time. He starts laying out the terrifying evidence. He tells her about the cloning facilities. He tells her about the true purpose of the Cold Fusion Project. And then he drops the ultimate bombshell. Z is Caesar Faison. Laura is absolutely stunned. The blood drains from her face. The man who terrorized her friends, who obsessed over Anna, who destroyed so many lives, is back. He is not just back. He is in control of the world's most powerful intelligence agency. The implications are staggering. But they made one fatal, catastrophic miscalculation. You do not investigate Caesar Faison without him knowing. Faison did not survive this long, clone himself, and take over the WSB by being careless. He is a master of surveillance. He has eyes everywhere. He has highly trained, lethal operatives deeply embedded in every corner of Port Charles. He knew Ezra was digging. He let him dig just far enough to expose himself. And those operatives are listening right now in the dark shadows of that supposedly secret meeting. Z's loyal, heavily armed goons have eyes on Ezra and Laura. They are recording every single word. They know that Ezra has cracked the ultimate code. They know that Laura Collins now holds the secret that could destroy Faison's meticulously crafted new empire. The truth is out, but it is trapped in a room surrounded by killers. Faison cannot let that information leave that room. He just spent years, maybe decades, building the flawless identity of Z. He just successfully framed and eliminated Ross Cullum to secure his position. He is not going to let a local investigator and the mayor of Port Charles tear down his masterpiece. The order is given from Geneva. It is swift. It is cold. No hesitation. No mercy. This is not just a kidnapping attempt. This is a targeted assassination order. Ezra and Laura are completely exposed. They think they are planning a brilliant counterattack to take down the corrupt WSB, but they are actually standing directly on a live landmine. Faison's assassins are moving in from all sides. The exits are blocked. The trap is snapping shut. The hero of Port Charles is actually its greatest, most terrifying monster, and he is about to strike again to protect his secret. Who is going to save Laura and Ezra before the clock runs out? Will someone figure out the truth before the assassins pull the trigger? We are about to find out, and it is going to be explosive.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.